actually get replaced by the 6 paintings that you see here today. And we take them back down and let students come and pick them up each year. So that's what we have done in the past. So this year we're going to feature the art of a very famous 20th century artist named Henry Matisse. He's known as a Fauvist artist because of his use of color. Many of the Impressionists were really anti-contemporary art, and they didn't like the colors that were used and thought that the subject matter was sort of vulgar. And the word fauve in French actually means wild beast. So the Fauvist movement was very controversial. In Matisse and Picasso, who I'm sure you've also heard of, were the forerunners for that particular era. So they were really cutting edge. They really kind of pushed the envelope and caused quite a bit of controversy in the 20th century. So what I'd like to do now is thank a few people. I'd love to thank Ms. Pajak, who brought the music to us today, her and her wonderful students.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Michelle Monti and her gourmet foods class. They provided cupcakes, which I'd invite you all to enjoy after we present the paintings. And Joanne Blanchett, thank you for being so gracious and helping us out, setting up the library, and of course all my wonderful AP students who, by the way, started these paintings last May and worked on them for May and June and spent 20 plus hours each on these paintings before they even left for the summer, before they even started their summer work for AP. So I think they deserve a big round of applause. Really, really hard workers. So what I'd like to do is introduce the first painting. Anna Skygel's going to introduce the first painting. She's going to unveil it for us. The name of the painting is Basket with Oranges, and Matisse painted this in 1913. So you can go ahead, Anna. Beautiful.
Hello. Henry Matisse's Basket of Oranges was roughly 37 by 32 inches in his original piece, and it was painted with oil on canvas. It was created in 1912, and around the time that he was working with still life in Paris. Though not one of his most famous works, his use of oranges throughout part of his paintings are very prominent. His use of bold colors, on the other hand, particularly in this piece, makes it clear why he's regarded as such an influential artist. I have had experience with painting, but never to this one grade of proportion, along with the weeks it took to accomplish. If I were to do this again, I would start with the tablecloth first because of how much detail is in that particular area. To conclude, it was an honor to be able to recreate his work and to have his legacy continue to make an impact on our lives today.
Next, I'd like to introduce Olivia Smith. Olivia is a senior, and she is going to introduce Goldfish, which was painted in 1912.
Okay, so the original of this was oil on canvas, and it measured 37 by 55 inches. And the original is right now in a museum in Moscow. So this one is one of his more famous paintings, and he was probably inspired by his trips to Morocco, where like a lot of people there would have fish bowls, and so for him, it probably like represented like a peaceful mind. So my experience with the painting was pretty fun. I don't really usually work in paint, so it was different, and especially not on this scale. But the foliage was probably the most enjoyable part of the process. Something that was kind of hard was matching his color palette, because he used oils and this is acrylic, so that was kind of difficult. So maybe something I would change was like matching the colors a little bit better, but other than that, it was pretty cool. So, thank you.
Next up is Emma Moley, who's a 12th grader, and her painting is Red Interior Still Life on a Blue Table that was painted in 1947.
was originally 35 by 46.5 inches, and it was oil on canvas. Henry Matisse was known for his use of color and pattern, which you can see. I painted these zigzags last, and it really just brought the whole piece together. I've been drawing and painting for most of my life, but I've never done anything this big, and so it was a really cool experience just to paint something on this scale. My favorite part of this was this section, just because of the texture, and doing that was really fun.
Next up, we have Emma King, who's also a 12th grader, and her painting is called The Window, and it was painted in 1916.
So this painting was originally 22 by 18 inches, and it was oil on canvas, and it was painted in 1916. I have had little experience with painting, but when doing this painting I really grew to like it. I had taken a class before, but we never did anything to this scale, and I actually really enjoyed it. And if I were to do it again, I would focus more on the smaller details.
Great, thank you. The next painting was painted by Kelsey Grenier, who's an 11th grader, and the name of this painting is Interior with a Dog, and it was painted in 1934.
So this originally painting was 61 by 65, oil on canvas, and this painting is also known as the Magnolia Branch. Matisse was known for his use of color, and drawing and painting is something I've done my whole life. What I struggled most with this painting is the background. It was hard to find the right color for it. I felt like at first it was too bold, so I just stuck with the pink.
Great, thank you. Last but not least, Jessie Hughes is a 12th grader, and her painting was done in 1914, and it's called Interior with a Goldfish Bowl.
Originally this piece was oil paint on canvas, and it was approximately 58 by 38 inches. It is currently located in a museum in Paris, France. My experience painting this was a lot of fun, actually. I've never painted something this big, and it was kind of a challenge because it's like the same height as I am. So getting like the top was kind of a challenge for me. But I really like the color blue, and it was fun to work with. And something that was a big challenge was that we only had like short periods of time to work on it. So we'd come in like for like a half an hour to 45 minutes when we had lunch or like a study hall. And so we didn't have like long periods of time to work on it. We was just like came in each day for a small increment, which actually made it kind of hard to finish. But
Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for coming to our unveiling ceremony. I'm going to have the artists stay up here, and they can chat with you if you have any questions about their process or about the artist. And please feel free to enjoy some cupcakes and just mingle with everybody else. Thank you for coming.